One day Yeshua taught his disciples, betrayals are inevitable, but great devastation will come to the one guilty of betraying others. It would be better for him to have a heavy boulder tied around his neck and be hurled into the deepest sea than to face the punishment of betraying one of my dear ones. So, be alert to your brother's condition, and if you see him going the wrong direction, cry out and correct him. If there is true repentance on his part, forgive him. No matter how many times in your day your brother sins against you and says, I'm sorry, I'm changing, forgive me, you need to forgive him each and every time. Upon hearing this, the apostle said to Yeshua, Lord, you must increase our measure of faith. Yeshua responded, if you have even the smallest measure of faith, it would be powerful enough to say to this large tree, my faith will pull you up by the roots and throw you into the sea, and it will respond to your faith and obey you. Yeshua continued, after a servant has finished his work in the field or with the livestock, he doesn't immediately sit down to relax and eat. No, a true servant prepares the food for his master and makes sure his master has served his meal before he sits down to eat his own. Does the servant expect to be thanked for doing what is required of him? So, learn this lesson. After doing all that is commanded of you, simply say, we are mere servants, undeserving of special praise, for we are just doing what is expected of us and fulfilling our duties. On his way to Yerushalayim, Yeshua passed through the border region between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered one village, 10 men approached him, but they kept their distance, for they were lepers. They shouted to him, Mighty Lord, our wonderful Master, won't you have mercy on us and heal us? When Yeshua stopped to look at them, he spoke these words, Go to be examined by the Jewish priests. They set off, and they were healed while walking along the way. One of them, a Samaritan, when he discovered that he was completely healed, turned back to find Yeshua, shouting out joyous praises and glorifying Elohim. When he found Yeshua, he fell down at his feet and thanked him over and over, saying to him, You are the Messiah. So where are the other 9? Yeshua asked. Weren't there 10 who were healed? They all refused to return to give thanks and give glory to Elohim, except you, a foreigner from Samaria. Then Yeshua said to the healed man lying at his feet, Arise and go. It was your faith that brought you salvation and made you whole. Yeshua was once asked by the Jewish religious leaders, When will God's kingdom come? Yeshua responded, God's kingdom does not come simply by obeying principles or waiting for signs. The kingdom is not discovered in one place or another, for God's kingdom realm is already expanding within some of you. Later Yeshua addressed this again with his apostles, saying, The time is coming when a great passion will be awakened within you to see me again. Yes, you will long to see the beginning of the days of the Son of Man, but you won't be able to find me. You will hear reports from some who will say, Look, he has returned. He's over here, or he's over there. Don't believe it or run after them, for their claims will be false. The day of the Son of Man will burst forth with the brightness of a lightning strike that shines from one end of the sky to the other, illuminating the earth. But before this takes place, the Son of Man must pass through great suffering and rejection from his generation. The same things that happened in the days of Noah will take place in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, and they were given in marriage until the day Noah boarded the ark, and the devastating flood came and swept them all away. The days of the Son of Man can also be compared to the days of Lot. The people of that time lived their lives as normal. They got married, raised families, built homes and businesses. Yet they were totally unaware of what was coming until the day Lot departed from Sodom. The sky opened up and rained fire and burning sulfur upon them, destroying everyone and everything they had built. So it will be on the day of the unveiling of the Son of Man. On that day, if one is outside, he won't even have time to go back into the house to gather his belongings. And those toiling in their fields won't have time to run back home. Don't forget the example of Lot's wife and what happened to her when she turned back. All who are obsessed with being secure in life will lose it all, including their lives. But those who let go of their lives and surrender them to me will discover true life. For in that night there will be 2 lying in their bed. One will be suddenly swept away while the other will be left alive. There will be 2 women working together at household duties. One will be suddenly swept away while the other will be left alive. His apostles asked, Lord, When will this judgment happen? Yeshua responded, It will be obvious, for wherever there are those spiritually dead, there you will find the eagles circling. One day Yeshua taught the apostles to keep praying and never stop or lose hope. He shared with them this illustration. In a certain town there was a judge, a thick-skinned and godless man, who had no fear of others' opinions. And in the same town there was a poor widow, who kept pleading with the judge, Grant me justice and protect me from my oppressor. He ignored her pleas for quite some time, but she kept asking. Eventually he said to himself, This widow keeps annoying me, demanding her rights, and I'm tired of listening to her. Even though I'm not a religious man, I don't care about the opinions of others. I'll get her off my back by answering her claims for justice, and I'll rule in her favor. Then she'll leave me alone. Yeshua continued, Did you hear what the godless judge said? That he would answer her persistent request. Don't you know that God, the true judge, will grant justice to all his chosen ones who cry out to him night and day? He will pour out his Spirit upon them. He will not delay to answer you and give you what you ask for. God will give swift justice to those who don't give up. So, be ever praying, ever expecting, in the same way as the widow. Even so, when the Son of Man comes back, will he find this kind of undying faith on earth? Yeshua taught this parable to those who were convinced they were morally upright, and to those who trusted in their own virtue, yet looked down on others with disgust. Two men who went into the temple to pray. One was a proud religious leader, the other a despised tax collector. The religious leader stood apart from the others and prayed, Now I thank you, O God, that I'm not wicked like everybody else. They're cheaters, swindlers, and crooks like that tax collector over there. God, you know that I never cheat or commit adultery. I fast from food twice a week, and I give you a tenth of all I earn. The tax collector stood alone in a corner, away from the holy place, and covered his face with his hands, feeling that he was unworthy even to look up to God, beating his breast. He sobbed with brokenness and tears, saying, God, please, in your mercy, and because of the blood sacrifice, forgive me, for I am nothing but the most miserable of all sinners. Which one of them left for home that day reconciled to God? The humble tax collector, not the religious leader. For everyone who praises himself will one day be publicly humiliated, and everyone who humbles himself will one day be publicly honored and lifted up.